Alright, so after all that stupid decks that people play, I hope to queue into something interesting, something more interesting. And when I say stupid decks, I'm talking about, even though there are pretty much face hunters, there's also one stupid deck, which is the super greedy priest with holding mind control from the left side, as well as actually playing confessor, which means if I am playing control deck, I'm gonna lose as soon as I spend one of my brawls. If I don't have both my brawls in my hand, I'm just gonna lose straight up. And I killed into one of those Confessor Piltress decks. It's almost worse than facing some aggressive deck that you know that, oh, they have perfect turn 1 to turn 6. It's 3 minutes of game over versus, oh, I'm just gonna try to play against this guy, and then I also in the end waste 6 minutes just like playing a control deck where I just waste my own time, you know. On the other spectrum of annoyance, the annoying part is playing against a face person is that you lose to something that's 3 minutes long, which is okay. It's just like next. But when you want to play control, I'm not saying that I want to win the control. I just don't want to face annoying decks like such as that. This is the other end of the spectrum. They're just waiting to steal your cards or waiting to play Confessor. And then not only Confessor is greedy enough, if they get a good legendary, you're definitely done because you just spent a brawl. And then here I have this guy playing Pirate Warrior, which means it's another face deck, but at least it's not showing signs of full aggression to the face just yet, which is a slight relief. But then it is still considered a face deck after all the conversation about face decks of face hunters. At least I managed to get at least 2 draws out of my Acolyte, conserving my previous not spent on a 1/1 novice engineer. The ghoul gains some value there, and now he's finally showing his aggression because he has both Arcanite Reaper and Upgrade, which means his face aggression has just started. So I have to try to block at least one of the durability, or else I'm gonna lose. So facing a Pirate Warrior, you need to reduce at least 3 turns of face damage, minimally. If you cannot reduce that 3 turns of face damage at their advantage, you lose because you do not have enough health. And also, if you're playing Curvestone, chances are you don't have mana to armor up each turn, which back in those days, certain matchups, you need to be armoring up almost every turn. Um, yeah, there are certain matchups as well as fatigue. To counter fatigue before Justicar came out, you have to armor up almost every turn, or else you're gonna lose in the fatigue war. It's not just about pay to win and then you win the fatigue or something. You literally have to be armoring up each turn, and that is a huge draw for me, considering that he didn't pop the shield there. That was one of the greedy mistakes that he did. He didn't pop the shield, so which means that I get a free trade against the buffed 8-3, or yeah, or 9-3, whichever. But basically, back in those days, people would buff the Bloodsail Raider really high, like that one over there, that 8-3, I believe. And back in those days, people relied on that card because uh, why would you smack your face into it as a weapon class? And back in the day, people played lots of weapon classes such as Paladin, and if you do not have Eldor, you were basically gonna take that 8 or 9 damage buffed from the Arcanite Reaper combo with the Bloodsail Raider. And so back in those days, Eye for an Eye was actually still activated on your own turn, which means you could do True Silver Eye for an Eye to, do a little counter fire or or sort of a backfire against the reliance of that Arcanite Reaper Bloodsail Raider combo, so that they take 8 or 9 damage to their face as a return, even though that 9 damage probably don't matter, but you also don't want to just take 9 for granted, knowing that he's a face deck, an aggressive deck. So here I actually drew my Vek'lor, which means that I have a really, really high chance of winning now, because knowing that he cannot hit my face and that I have pretty good protection since he already used an upgrade. There's no real direct way of clearing one. Okay, he just drew the deckhand, which means he can clear one of those. But he is also losing health, and he's lacking cards already. So I'm pretty sure now I got the hang of the game. There's almost no way they can come back to this. What cards can he not play though? Those must be face damage cards that is in his hand. He already used one Mortal Strike, so one of them has to be Heroic Strike. And then I don't know what the rest are because I rarely played those kinds of aggressive decks. Oh, there's the other Mortal Strike. So he had both of them. Oh, and then he just drew the second Heroic Strike. So literally he had 6, 8, 14 damage. So I almost lost. See? If I did not block 2 to 3, or I mentioned 3 hits of face, I would lose, and I was right. It's more like 2 actually. Thanks for watching.